How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? Johnny Trucking here. We're finally back in the truck. We're finally gonna cook for a change here now that I'm kind of back in the truck. Today hasn't come without its issues, that's for sure. Today my inverter gave out. Literally, as I was making coffee, it just popped, and it won't like, it turns on, but it doesn't power anything in the truck. So the fridge was without power, and I didn't get my coffee. So I went to Walmart real quick, and I went and bought another one. I bought another 1500 watt inverter and plugged that in, and that seems to be working okay for now. I ended up getting this to Joplin just to make sure that everything's good to go. Turn in the old one, and hopefully they'll give me a better one, and then I can take the one that I bought back, since I no longer needed it. But I needed something to keep my fridge running and to be able to cook, because without the power inverter I can't cook anything. So anyways, I'm on that new inverter. I got power running now. So what I'm doing is, you can see, I'm steaming some rice, and the reason I'm steaming some rice is because I'm going to be making some poke. For those of you that don't know what poke is, to put it in basic terms, it's basically sushi salad, right? So it's all the ingredients that you would see on a sushi roll, just in a bowl form, without the seaweed wrap, basically. So, sushi salad, if you want to put it that way. That's what poke is. So I'm going to be making one of my favorite ones that I like to eat from back home in San Antonio. At our local grocery store called H-E-B, they sell a San Antonio sushi roll that consists of crab meat, cucumber, avocado, obviously rice, and spicy mayo sauce. In this case, it's hot, but spicy mayo, and then oyster sauce. Actually, it's sushi sauce, but I substitute oyster sauce, which is basically kind of the same thing. It's not too far different as far as taste and texture is concerned. But you put all that together into a roll, and that's where you get the San Antonio roll. One of my favorites. It's super, super delicious. I could eat that thing every day. But it's kind of expensive to buy it. It's like $9 a roll or $9 a bowl. So I bought all these ingredients for less than $10. And it's going to feed me for at least 2 or 3 days. So let's go ahead and make it. I need to peel the cucumber. I need to cut up the avocado, and then wait for the rice to finish. And then what I need to do is, I need to cut a couple of sticks in half, peel them into strands into a bowl, and then put oyster sauce, and then top it off with. And then once I have everything in the bowl all mixed together, I top it off with some sesame seeds and the oyster sauce. So yeah, let's get started. I'm gonna get started by peeling the cucumbers and cutting the avocados into squares, and then we'll go from there. Alright, so that rice is cooking real nicely. I already peeled the cucumber, so now I'm gonna go ahead and cut up this avocado. I'm gonna take a look. This avocado I bought, it was very, very hard when I bought it, so it was like super like fresh, so I needed to ripen it for a few days. Should be good now. Should be just about to the point where, yeah, see, that's perfect. Look at that. This is after a few days of letting it ripen a little bit, so it should be good to go from here. Yep, smells good, looks good. So now we'll go ahead and cut it out. The inside there. Woo! Sometimes it's hard to cut. There's one thing I want to keep telling y'all when it comes to cooking in trucks, is that I don't got a lot of space to work with. And you can't like make more space, like more I mean, you can use your bed a little bit, but I mean, how dirty do you want your bed to get? I mean, you should see my bed right now. My bed is full of like containers and stuff that I'm gonna put all this stuff in when I'm done. Get real dirty with the avocado. Let's go ahead and cut it out though. Man, this thing ripened up real nice. Like I said, when I bought it, it was really hard, but I kind of did that intentionally just because I figured I wanted to let it ripen for a few days, just to get it right just to get it to the right spot that I needed it to be when I was ready to cook. Because the worst thing you can do is buy an avocado if it's super soft. If you're not going to use it the day of, and you buy a super soft one, it'll go bad within like a day or two if you don't plan on using it the day of. So if your plan is to cook something with avocados, or to use avocados, but you're not going to use them the day of, and buy them when they're really hard. Buy a really hard one. Put it in the fridge for like 2 or 3 days. And then when you feel like you're gonna get ready to cook with it within 2 days, take it out and leave it and let it ripen outside for about 2 more days, right? Just depends on how soon you're trying to cook, right? With the avocado. If your plan is, I'm gonna use this avocado like 4 days from now, put it in the fridge for 2, take it out for 2, and then it should be just like that, where it's nice and fresh. You don't really have to scrap too much of it. You might have to scrap a little bit of it, but you won't have to scrap as much as you would if you bought a soft one, if you weren't going to use it on the same day. So this should be pretty quick. So I'm just going to cut these into little squares, as small as I can get. I mean, I don't want them to be super small actually, so probably I'll do it like in 4 sections. So probably cut it about right here, and then I'm going to do that. I might actually stir it a little bit before it's done, because it'll easily stick to the bottom of the bowl if you don't. It's looking pretty good though. So I'm just gonna let it keep going. It's already, looks like it's done cooking. It's in warm, so I'm gonna go ahead and unplug the rice cooker because we don't need it anymore. Because I actually want that rice to cool a little bit. Because once I'm done and I have everything prepped, I'm gonna put the rice. Actually, you know what? I'm in the middle of cutting this, but I think it'd be a good idea now to go ahead and put the rice into one of the bowls here. And what I'm gonna do with the rice, because I need it to cool down a little bit, is I'm gonna open that up. Woo, look at that. That's some good looking rice. And I'm gonna go ahead and put it into my little prep bowl here. Man, I had the rice spoon that came with my rice maker. I misplaced it. I don't know where it is. It's somewhere in this truck. But another thing you'll find out as a truck driver is that you think you're not gonna lose anything in here. You will. You think because it's a small space, you're not gonna lose anything in here. You will. You'll lose something. You'll lose a few things. You'll lose your marbles a little bit too, you know. It happens. But yeah, let's go ahead and put yeah, see that's kind of the little bit of the rice gets stuck kind of in the bottom, and that's the rice you don't want to put in your prep because it's all garbage. But what you do want to do with this, so that it doesn't necessarily stick to the bottom, is you kind of want to, and definitely if you buy a rice cooker that's non-stick, don't use metal utensils in it. It'll scratch up the non-stick. Do with the good rice here is I'm going to go ahead and put a cover just on top of it. I'm not actually going to close it. I'm just going to kind of put it on top. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in my fridge. And my fridge has a little freezer compartment, because this is better. This particular recipe is way better with cold rice than it is, because you want it to be like sushi rice, nice and cool. You don't want it to really be hot. This is not a fried recipe, so You don't really want anything that's super hot. So I'm just gonna take this, I wanna dump it into my freezer, and I'm just gonna leave it there while I prep all this, and hopefully by the time I am done with cutting up all this and prepping everything else, it'll be nice and cold, and we can eat it tonight. That way I don't have to wait till tomorrow. The rest of it though, I'll put in I'll put in my fridge, you know, whatever I don't eat tonight. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and move the rice cooker over here. It's not in the way. Get that out of the way. And I'll clean the rice cooker later. So we got some more prep to do though. So now we can kind of move things a little bit to utilize this space. So I was in the middle of cutting this this avocado, so then I can kind of move over here. That's ready to go. So let's do it again with this one here in the middle. So to my bowl here, you probably can't see it, but I'm pouring it into one of my prep bowls here, just taking it off of the board. Yep, there we go. So that's where my avocado is gonna be whenever I'm ready to eat. So just gonna cover that up, put that over here. Depending on how much of this you want, that's really where you should, how many avocados you should use. If you like more avocado than you do cucumbers, then use more avocados. If you like more cucumbers than you do avocados, then use cucumbers. Buy another one. But this should, 1 and 1 should give you a lot to work with. So just clean off my knife real quick. Wipe it clean. And then here, this one, I like to cut it in half first. So it makes it easier to cut. Cutting up the veggies and cooking the rice is not, you know, not the hard part. The rice pretty much cooks itself. You just gotta, you know, make sure you put the right amount of water and whatnot, depending on how fluffy you want your rice to be. Put it in the cooker. Let the cooker do its job, and that's it. Now the hardest part is coming up, and that's going to be the making the fish part. So that's going to be fun. So let's clean the knife again. I want to cover up the cucumbers. This is why I cook the rice first, by the way, because, you know, that way by the time the rice is cooked, you know, I'm still working on all this and whatnot, but it's chilling now. So by the time I get done with this, the rice should be nice and cold and chilled, and it'll make the bowl really, really nice. Okay, so probably need to use, since I'm doing meal prep for more than just one serving, probably need to put at least 3 of these out there. So let's see. Three should be good. Then I'll put the rest away. Just make sure to get these things chilled again. Things get really icky after a while. Definitely want to pay attention to your crab legs and whatnot, because although they don't have although they have an expiration date that stretches, they can go bad on you pretty quick if you're not careful, especially if they're going through multiple temperatures. Now, You see, they're kind of wet. So if you don't want them to be that wet, just do this simple little dampening thing. Just kind of take a paper towel. I mean, it's fish, it's going to be a little wet, but if you don't want it to be extremely wet, just kind of, you know, take off the excess water with the paper towel before you cut them up. I know a lot of y'all are going to give me some crap because I'm touching, you know, fishy products with my bare hands, but you know, hey, I'm the only one that's eating it, so sue me. Alright, so like I said, I'm going to cut these into little pieces like that. And now comes the, like I've said before, kind of the difficult part a little bit, because this is the part that takes a little bit of work. So I'm going to take a piece, and what I'm going to have to do is basically, like, if you look real close at this, you can kind of break them up a bit. They kind of have like a little bit of a line scheme in them, so you can kind of break them up and kind of peel them off like that, right? And then you just want to do like you know, stranded and whatnot. Doesn't have to be super thin, but you know, and the thing is, that's like it's gonna break on you a bit. It's gonna be a little difficult at times to pull this off, but kind of stranded as much as you can. Okay, so now once we got these things stranded out, right? They're like this. So now all we gotta do is take our mail and pour it in. Pour it into here. Probably want to start off with just a little bit like that. And then we're gonna take our spoon and we're gonna mix it up. Want to just mix it all together, get the mayo to kind of almost drench it a little bit into the fish. That actually should be good. Probably don't want to overdo it, but that should be good. I think that should be good. Yeah, see, that's because you want the mayo to be to coat the fish a little bit, to coat it enough to get the taste in there. That's kind of the objective of this, so definitely make sure you do that. So now you got spicy crab. Now what you've made now is you've made spicy imitation crab. That's what this is now. That's what the recipe calls for. So yeah, that's good. We don't got to put any more in there. That should be fine. Straggler, throw that in the trash. Okay, so now that you got this part done, we're on the home stretch now here, guys. So now we can put the whole thing together into a meal now. So let's do that, right? There goes all my stuff in the fridge. I can't wait to get a better fridge, guys, because whoo, man, not having this fridge has been good to me, But having a fridge that I can't really organize that well because it's just not built for organization makes things very difficult. It makes life very difficult, I'll tell you that. Okay, so while that was going on, our rice now is nice and chilled. Now, grab a bowl. And we can mix all of this goodness together after the finishing touches. So, see a little bowl like that. And this is how this works. Super easy to put together. It's not difficult. So I'm gonna clean my little spoon here for just a minute. Well, you know what? I'm just gonna kind of scoop that with my finger because I mean it's all going in my mouth anyways, guys. If I was cooking this for somebody else, I wouldn't use my fingers for a lot of this stuff, or you know, like bare fingers. Anyways, you know, this is not a professional cooking channel. But yeah, the rice is now kind of chilled. It's a lot colder than what it was when I put it in. So now I can put a little bit of rice. I want to put the rice in there first. So kind of coat the bottom with a little rice. Okay, about that should be good about right there. Then start putting, I mean, you can put all the ingredients in there however you want, right? So if I want some of this crab meat, I'm just gonna grab a couple like that. Kind of stack it in there like this. That should be good enough for this little bowl. So cover that up. Try not to break my bowls. Okay. And then now we can add. I'm gonna move this out of the way. This cutting board is in my way. Now we can add some cucumbers in here. Add a few of those. Okay, good there. Then, last thing we need to add is some avocados. I like avocados, so I'm gonna put a little bit more than usual. Okay, then now what you can do, right now we got one thing left to do. That is to put the oyster sauce. Oh my God. Every time I open this fridge, everything flies out. It flies out at me. Ugh. One of these days, I'll get a better one. For now, I don't have to continue to do, guys. I've been fighting through it for 9 months. Okay, so now, got my chopsticks. And now I'm just gonna put a little oyster sauce, like I said earlier. Kind of gives it that extra little flavor there. So I'm gonna kind of coat it as just a little bit, right? Don't put too much. It's a really thick sauce that comes kind of shooting out, so about that much should be good. It's a really thick coating sauce. But yeah, and then you just kind of mix everything together. Take your rice in there, your crab meat, and then kind of mix it all together. And that is your poke bowl. San Antonio poke bowl, guys. So there it is. It's all mixed in with the rice and it tastes absolutely delicious. Magnifique, guys. But yeah, if you like this recipe, let me know in the comments. But other than that, I'm gonna get to chowing down. I'm gonna store the rest of this for the next couple of days. But yeah, fresh, healthy, and delicious. All right, guys, I'll see y'all down the road. Yum, yum, yum.